Hey everyone, welcome back. I am Apryl Nicole with another video. Today I'm going to sew a double circle skirt with 4 pieces. Here's the end result. Let's see how I made it. I will be using silk charmeuse. This fabric is slick and frays easily. I would suggest using a 65/9 or 90/14 needle on your sewing machine. I already had a circle skirt pattern based on my measurements. I'm not going to go into detail on drafting this pattern in this video. I've pinned the pattern to the fabric on the fold and also pinned the fabric along the selvage. I could have folded the fabric in half and cut 2 pieces to make 4 pieces, but this fabric is slick, so I will cut 4 pieces one at a time on the fold. This circle skirt will have pockets. Cut 4 pocket pieces. I wanted the inside pockets to match the skirt. On each skirt piece, I'm going to gather at the waist. I will be using a gather presser foot. This is what it looks like. If you don't have a gathering foot, you can sew a basting stitch with a 1/4 seam allowance. This is the result. Use the bobbin thread and pull to gather the fabric more. Do this for all 4 pieces. Since this double circle skirt has 4 pieces, there will be a center front seam, 2 side seams, and a center back seam. These 2 skirt pieces need to be sewn together to create the center front seam. I've pinned and will sew this seam to become the center front. Since my serger is not working properly, I'm going to use pinking shears for this center front seam. Or you can use an overcast foot. In hindsight, I should have used an overcast foot to finish the raw edges. I have 2 pieces sewn together, creating the center front seam. Now I'm going to sew the pockets on the side seams. With right sides together, sew one of the pocket pieces on each side seam of the front skirt. Press the seam toward the pocket. Now I'm going to top stitch the pocket from this point to this point so it won't pucker on both pocket pieces. Do the same for the other two skirt pieces, except this time sew the entire pocket onto the side seam and do not sew the center back seam yet. Here are all 4 pieces. With right sides together, place the 2 center back skirt pieces on top of the center front skirt piece. Now I'm going to sew the center back side seams with the center front side seams as well as each pocket. The side seams and pockets are sewn together. The only seam left open is the center back seam. I'm going to sew about an inch above the notch to the hem at a 1/2 inch seam allowance for preparation of installing the invisible zipper. Here's the straight stitch with the seam open for the zipper. Before I sew the zipper, I'm going to move on to the waistband. Fuse the interfacing onto the wrong side of the waistband. Interfacing is used for a stabilizer. Press the waistband lengthwise. I'm not using steam. On one side of the waistband, turn up a 1/2 inch hem and press. On the side without the hem, with right sides together, pin the waistband from one side of the center back to the other side. The waistband should fit all the gathers. If not, adjust the gathers as needed. Sew a basting stitch with a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the waistband. If you're satisfied, sew a straight stitch with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Open the zipper. With wrong side facing up, pin the right zipper track to the left side of the center back and 1/2 of the waistband. Sew a basting stitch on the zipper. Just know the waistband is incorrect. I sewed it backwards. With over 25 years of experience, I'm not ashamed to make mistakes or learning opportunities. The zipper is pinned correctly though. I have 2 different zipper feet. The left one is a regular zipper foot and the other one is for invisible zippers. Yes, I'm using an invisible zipper, but I'm going to use the regular zipper foot. Repeat for the left side of the zipper track to the right side of the center back and 1/2 of the waistband. The waistband is sewn correctly. Fold the waistband right side to right side down and sandwich the zipper in between and pin. Let the top of the zipper poke out at the top. Sew straight down as close to the teeth as possible. Cut the tip of the zipper off and blunt the end. Turn the waistband inside out. Repeat the same steps for the other zipper track. I had a gap in the center back seam. I just sewed it up. Now I will finish the waistband. Pin in place, then sew as close to the edge as possible. I don't like using pinking shears with this fabric, so I'm going to use an overcast foot. Here's what an overcast foot looks like. On my sewing machine, the overcast stitches are numbers 6, 7, and 8. I tested stitch 6 on the right side. I don't like how it's still fraying. The left side is stitch 7, and I like this one better. Stitch 8 is for knit fabrics. Last is completing the hem. I was going to use the rolled hem foot, but it wasn't cooperating with me, so I decided to use an overcast stitch first. Now I'm going to fold the hem up 1/4 inch and straight stitch the hem midways at 1/8 of an inch. I love this skirt. It's flowy and flouncy, and the best part are the pockets. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.